Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Guys, it's Nick Burafeto with Link2 here with the Digital Asset Investor again. If you could just see his tech that I'm working with here, he tried to bridge the gap of technology and go to Apple, but he has an Apple computer and a non-Apple mouse.
It's bad.
I just can't even use it. But anyway, thanks for having me on the show again. Big week at Link2 this week. We're having a member event in Napa Valley tomorrow, which is going to be exciting. We've got some great members coming, some special guests will be there, so it's going to be a whole lot of fun. And keep an eye out. You know, throughout the year we'll have member events at Link2 in different areas of the country, so keep an eye out. Also, a couple other things this week. Discord is coming to the platform, so if you're interested in Discord, it's going to be a new offering on our platform. It should go live, I think, tomorrow. Worst case, it'll be Wednesday, but I think it might actually happen tomorrow. Also, Circle will get restocked this week, so you will see more Circle. And then the one thing I really wanted to talk about real quick was Ripple. And you know, when the Ripple case was going on, we were very confident how it would end up, and it really ended up how we thought it would. You know, whether or not there's going to be an appeal, we're waiting to find out. But the problem is, all this concern in the markets about whether or not an appeal is going to happen has caused a tremendous amount of confusion in the market. And what's happened is, in the secondary market for Ripple shares, the value has come down on Ripple shares. So we were able to secure a really sizable block of Ripple shares at a very favorable price. So all of our members have been messaged by Link2. Take a look in your email. We've got very special pricing this week. It should run through Thursday, or if we run out. But please do take a look at that if you're interested in increasing your Ripple position. If you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting to invest in Ripple, it's a fantastic time. So any questions, reach out to us, and hopefully we'll see you on the Link2 platform.
All right. Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm doing this from the Sky Lounge, believe it or not. In Delta Sky Lounge. I'm in the LAX airport right now. Wanted to show you this. This is an interesting tweet. Ripple is down 1.69% for the day. XRP is trading at 0.51, but as you go down for the week, it's down 1.84. For the month, down 25.85%. 60 days, 10.4%. 90 days, 3.68%. For the year, 55.75%. Year to date, 51.41%. Dominance, 2.59%. Thought that was an interesting record of things. Now check this out. What was it Dan Pena said? Dead Russian billionaire. This is that guy that went down in the plane crash, and they're saying that he has that he may be linked to the 5th largest Bitcoin wallet. Remember Dan Pena?
If you knew who was really behind Bitcoin, you would run as fast as you fucking could to sell it. I know. 100%. If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, and you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know. 100%. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me, Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
No, I don't think it's Russia myself. I believe it's the United States. So check this out. If past XRP holders will be able to earn for the first time income on chain, the XLS 30 is coming. AMM. I can't wait. I'm ready to earn interest. Now check this out. This is from Mr. Man. Listen to this club.
For the immediate future, we see things operating largely within national boundaries. which means you'll get a range of different models emerging, and therefore the question of cross-border interoperability arising as well, in the same way as one does on current cross-border payments. The second is, I think some nations are going to see this as an opportunity to extend the remit of their currency beyond their borders. In other words, to challenge the current dollar dominance as the global currency, if you like. So I think that the geopolitical elements in that sense are going to be very interesting and very intense. But the great thing about ONFIF is, of course, that it provides a forum and a college for experts and interested parties from both the private and public sectors to come together in a very exclusive and very private setting and have the kind of discussions that can't be done in normal public fora. Which is
Okay, so check this out. The Robin Hood, says the Robin Hood rumor is heating up. I don't know exactly what that means, but there are still rumors swirling about Robin Hood listing XRP for the first time. I hope it is heating up. Now check out this Mark Yusko. This is from Good Morning Crypto. I want you to hear what he says here. This guy trips me out because this is not a dumb guy. And he's just, remember the time that Pompliano, who used to be his partner, said, was doing he's the one that was talking to Brad Garlinghouse, where Brad Garlinghouse made the face because Pompliano said something that didn't sound that bright. These guys always act so confused. Them and Novogratz and CNBC. Here he's just pontificating. He's just doing a bunch of what ifs.
Flip it around. So the positive spin on this, that's interesting. I'm making this up in real time. The positive spin on this is, if I'm the Rothschilds and BIS, and you can put WEF in here too, but let's just keep it clean for now. And I see Bitcoin happen, and I see decentralization happen.
Which is fake. It's not decentralization. It's not decentralization, and the government knows who the 4 Satoshis are. And he won't address that ever. You'll never hear him talk about that, but just, he's pretending here.
I need to fight back. Well, what history has shown us is the Rothschilds don't fight fair. They get armed better than their competition and they win. They're kind of
What seems to be the case, though, Mark, is that the people who haven't been fighting fair are those that are fighting against Ripple, not the other way around.
And so this is very interesting. So if they, pretty smart people, had a chance to look out at the available options and they chose XRP as opposed to Ethereum or something similar, there's information content there. That's interesting to me.
Yeah. Let me show you what else is interesting, Mark. This is a clip. This is an older clip from Brad Garlinghouse. This is interesting.
From the get-go, Ripple has worked with regulators, and we have worked with regulated institutions like banks where there isn't regulatory uncertainty. And so we have found that part of the reason why XRP has performed well is because people realize, hey, wait a minute. You know, back to your question, is XRP the next Bitcoin? Back to your question, is XRP the next Bitcoin? If we work with the system to solve this problem, and we can solve that problem at scale, a problem measured in the trillions of dollars, then there's a lot of opportunity to create value in XRP.
Okay.
From the get-go, Ripple has worked with regulators, and we have worked with regulated institutions.
Trying to stop that. Then, this is one that a lot of you probably didn't see, but I put it out a while ago. This guy is, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but he wrote the book on the creature from Jekyll Island, the formation of the Federal Reserve. Listen to what he says in this clip.
While the bill was being debated in Congress, some of these people went before the public. They gave speeches knowing it would be reported in the press, and they were interviewed by journalists, and they said, oh, this bill that they had written on the side, nobody knew of it, this bill is not going to be good for business. It's bad for America. And they actually did that ploy. And knowing full well that the average guy would read that in the newspaper and say, these big bankers don't like the bill, must be pretty good, you know? These fellas were brilliant, and that's how they sold it.
Well, you asked the question in your book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, what is the Federal Reserve, and what is your answer?
Well, what it is, it's a cartel. It's not a government agency. It has the appearance of it being a government agency, and they went to great lengths to give it that facade. It does have the power of government because Congress voted to give the power of enforcement to it. But in its essence, underneath it, it's a cartel. It's nothing different than a banana cartel or an oil cartel or sugar cartel. It happens to be a banking cartel. They got together, they drew up the rules and regulations for their own industry. To self-regulate their own industry is what cartels do. And then they sent it to Congress, and they took off the label at the top that said banking cartel, and they erased that, and they said Federal Reserve Act. Congress passed it into law, and that's why we think it's a government agency, is because if you don't obey the rules that they set down for their own industry, you go to prison. And so it looks like a government agency. But basically the answer to your question is it's a banking cartel.
But here's what we understand, which is interesting. This self-regulatory agency could be put through, and I think this is the biggest effort yet, where they have major white shoe law firms they've hired, something known as the Brooklyn Project. They're going to publish best practices and seek government regulation at some point as an SRO, as something along the lines of the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. And it's created by two, I would say, industry leaders, a guy named Joe Lubin, Andrew Keys. They are part of something known as Ethereum and Consensus. These are big cryptocurrency blockchain companies. They are working on this through this thing known as the Brooklyn Project. They have a lot of sources and friends on Wall Street. This, to me, will be the way that cryptocurrency and blockchain, the technology, gets beyond the sewage rationale. They are going to lead the effort to essentially systematize and rationalize and create a consumer protection organization with blockchain and cryptocurrency, and this is the key thing, because they are working, from what I understand, with the SEC, the CFTC on this, a self-regulatory organization, which will differentiate between stuff that can be regulated as securities, like Bitcoin, and other stuff that you have through blockchain, like computer technology.
So I would pose this to Mark Yesko. It looks to me like it's Bitcoin and Ethereum that have tried to create a cartel and Federal Reserve 2.0. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that I'm in the Delta Sky Club. Thanks for listening.